Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. In this video, we will be designing this dashboard from scratch. This is step 3 of the step-by-step COVID-19 data analysis, and this is like the second to the last stage where we design a dashboard that shows us most of what happened from the beginning to the end. We've already cleaned our data, we've explored it, we've done the analysis, and now we need to show what we've been doing so far. Designing this, like I said, from scratch, a very interactive dashboard. Clicking on Only Africa, we can see that Only Africa's map is here, and only the amount of cases and deaths and the countries that were affected in Africa will be showing. If we click on Asia, we have the same. Only Asia is going to be selected. 51 countries were affected, 302 million cases, and so on and so forth. We can also check for our countries. So if you're in Nigeria, if you're in Afghanistan, if you're in Albania, if you're in any country, let's check for instance Algeria. We can see that it's just one country and 272 cases in the country, 6,881 deaths in the country, and it's just a very interactive dashboard, and let's get right into it. Our first step in achieving the dashboard is changing the canvas settings from this to this. So we'll change it from the 720 px to 1020 px and the width to 1880 px. So this way it has enough space to contain every feature we're putting out. After setting the canvas settings, we're going right into changing the background, and COVID-19 has purple in its color, and we want our dashboard to look exactly like what the thumbnail is showing. So it's very important to note the color code. So click on more colors and then change from here, ash 716 BC5. Yeah, so just reduce the transparency. Transparency is on 100, then it is white. Reduce the transparency to 83, and yes, we have our background. Next, we just create our slicers. Very important to do that as early as possible. So first slicers, date, and we want everything to be drop downs and not tails or anything else. So we just allow it to load. We can leave it as slicers like this slider. I think it's okay like this. I would have actually preferred a drop down, but this is not bad after all. So just another slicer for continents, right here. I think we should just change this. If it was yearly, we could have done something different, but because we want all our data to be as a drop down, just this one also has a drop down. So slicers have varieties. You can always do varieties of the kind of slicers you want, but this is what we want today. You can choose any one you like while practicing, but just Ctrl C and Ctrl V, then drag to its own corner and change from continent to location. Location is the same as country, so we can just change the name here by double clicking on it, double clicking and change it to country. Yeah, so all we have to do now is format and give it the same background, the same settings literally, and just format painter. So just go to values and increase the values for it to be visual enough for people to see it. Yeah, make it bold. I think this is not bad. And then the header, increase it to, yes, change the font. I particularly do not like this DIN automatic font. I prefer this Arial or something else. So make it bold and increase it like 18, so it will be visible enough for everyone that sees the dashboard. Then we change the background to more colors. We want a very bright red, so you can just come and scout for a very bright red here, or we can just search for the color code we want. For this video, we'll just change the color code to 0819. Yeah, so this will make the color really evident. To increase the visibility, we can just increase the font a little bit, like 44%. This way we can see our visuals clearly. So the title text is in font 20. We'll just change the color to white, and the values to white as well, because white pops better in red than black. So this format painter, and so we confirm the properties of this 103 against 299. So we change this one. It's just for the sake of consistency. 299. Yeah, so just try to rearrange them. There's space here. So format painter again, and so 103 and 299. This is just literally it. We need to like make the, we don't want it to be totally rectangle, so we want to increase the rounded corners to like px and make it red. For this one too, we do the same. I don't think format painter doesn't apply to these general settings, it only applies to the visual settings. So 12px, and just try to arrange them. This remaining space here is for the title and other properties. And this, we have our cards, we have our cards, I've been seeing cards since. We have our drop down. I think this is okay. So we'll just build our title text box like this, and just make sure that they are on the same line with the drop downs, with the slicers. So Power BI has a way of automatically telling us when it is time to like stop moving it. So we change our font to 28 and our font color to red. Make it bold and put it in the middle. COVID-19 data analysis. So on your name, if you want to, date created. This dashboard is being created on 29th of September. I would actually suggest that you um put the date you got the data set to avoid bias and to show that this is the most recent date you got the data set, but I'll just put the date I am designing this dashboard here. So we can just change the font to purple and reduce it because we don't want it to be as bold as the main topic. Yeah, so can increase this to like 32 and change the background. We don't want it to have background. So this looks cool and I think we should make this in 8x or let's check. Okay, so next we're going to cards and we just click on card and the cards we need are cards for countries, cases, deaths, vaccination, if possible population, but then we'll just like work with the ones that we have first. You know how it is done, copy and paste. So it's showing the first country, but we want it to show a count of all the countries. If we say we want a count of all the countries, it's going to count every row, which is 402,000 rows. But we're going to do count distinct. So just pick one unique country from each row. So we have 242, 243 countries that way, and we don't want the call out value to be count of country because it sounds unprofessional. So change it to countries. Yeah, showing that we have 243 countries, and we'll just reduce the size and Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and then move and raise it up. Still have a lot of visuals to add, so we can just like, I think this is the highest it can go. So we'll change this one to from country to the new cases to the sum of the new cases. That's why I didn't want us to use total cases from the previous video because I know that total cases is the sum of the new video and that's like repetition. So we change this as well to just cases. Yeah, we're still going to like format the whole thing, but first we can just do this Ctrl C, Ctrl V again, and if we want 5 cards you can just do that. Just make sure you're very careful with the changing of the values. So this stats, yeah, and then one more we can just add vaccinations. I don't know if vaccination even helped at all. That's just the whole reason for adding vaccinations. Also the sum. So we already have all our values in place. So next thing we'll be doing now is format the whole card, like changing the background. We do not want it to have it here so we'd see 138 300. This is the aspect ratio we want the cards to have. And remember, we want our cards, we want all our visuals to have a little bit of rounded corners. So increase this one to like 12 as well, and then increase the fonts. This is a very important factor. Increasing the font is very important, and um changing the font for every of your visual values really helps your data consistency, your dashboard consistency. Change this to white to make it pop better and make it bold. Then category label, bold, white, in italics. Then you can just increase this to 20. Yes, so it is very clear and visible. So we'll just go to the general part and open the properties, so we would be able to change the other cards as well. So as you can see, come here, 138 300. Then we'll just change this to 138 300, and yeah, move it. So um I think that's okay. No, that's not okay actually. um okay, the corners, that's rounded corners already. So format painter, format it down here as well. So this one has automatically changed the background and the other parts, just the properties. 138 300. If you remember, you can always go back to the first one to confirm that they are the same. So make sure the visuals are all on the same page. Format painter, and reduce this to 138 300. Yeah, so we have our cards. Very simple, very easy. So um let's just put this one, so we know that we are arranging it sequentially. So go to insert and click on image for our thumbnail. I had already downloaded it. This is its OIP, but I'll just show you guys how to download it. So this is what we're using. It has purple and it has red, and it just matches our dashboard lots. So we'll just move it to the edge of the dashboard, make it bold enough. So we have it. You can just search for COVID-19 thumbnail and download it on your, go to your laptop and go to images, go to your downloads, and that's just how to do that. So next, including our cumulative cases and cumulative um, deaths by year, and this already has an hierarchy, so you can just increase the properties here. So like this one can be like 400, so 600, let's see, 410 to 600. So as you can see, showing each day in the first quarter of the year, and we don't, we can drill down and you can drill up. So if you drill up, it arranges it so quarter by quarter for each year, but still we can also drill up to the point where it's showing just the years. This is what we want. And because it's a real-time data, you can always change it to a line chart. Yeah, something like this. So apparently it is in this analysis that I just discovered that 2022 had more cases than 2020, which was actually the pandemic. So we'll just do a little bit of formatting. So x-axis, the we don't need the title because it's obviously showing the year. So I can change this to 20 and make it really bold, black, black because it pops better in white. And that's for the x-axis. For the y-axis, we do not need the labeling because we're going to be including data labels. Don't worry, don't panic. I'll show you how I did it, how I'm doing it. So we go to data labels here and um position above or auto, and then just give it a very bold effect. It is subject to change actually, but for now let's just do it like this. And grid lines are distracting us. Okay, for the data labels, it's showing 0.008 billion, so we have to change the way it is showing here. We have to change the display unit from billions. It's automatically on billions now, so we have to change it to millions. So we can see that that's 80 million, 200 million, 42.4 million, and 424 million actually, not 42.4 million. And next we remove the grid lines because they are distracting, like I said. This is dashboard. Go to the lines and change the color of the line from blue to red and enable shaded area to 60%. Then if you're looking for a particular feature, you can just come here to search for it. Grid lines, so vertical grid lines should be turned off. Then press X and it goes back to the normal place instead of searching. So I made a mistake. When you make a mistake, you either come here to click back, or you press Ctrl plus Z on your laptop. So we are almost done with this. Next, we remove the grid lines. We can just put markers. So add markers so we know the points. I think we should just change the position. Just change the position. Um, let's change the position to either above. Yeah, so all labels are above the the points, and I think that's okay. Then we go to the title and change it to cumulative cumulative cases, and we'll change the font and increase it to 20 and make it bold and in italics. Change the background to red or just spice, and then change the text color to white. So now it looks, change the text color to white actually. Now it looks way better than it could have been. And next, just go to the effects, and as usual, border, the border should be like purple, so just make sure we're mixing the colors effectively, and can just increase it to 10 because it has a bigger, then it's okay. Aha, so this is what we have, and just now position it properly. Positioning is very important when designing dashboard to help with unnecessary spacing, and to help arrange our dashboard effectively. Let's check the properties. I think this should be like 410 instead of 458. To make us have space. So Ctrl C and Ctrl V. Now we have to exact this thing. So we'll change the new cases to new dates and just change the color. Tricks, 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 tricks. Um, so we go to lines and then change the color. That's like the only thing we are changing, because we copied and pasted the value. So automatically we have our cumulative cases and cumulative, this should be cumulative debts because we clicked on new debts. So this should be cumulative debts. So we have this already. Next, we can just actually like position this properly, like I said, move this to match with this to match up here, and just increase the weight here to like 650 and drag it towards the border. We can reduce it to like 640, so it's going to have the same aspect ratio as the other one, or like let's say 635. So increase this also to 635 and let's see what comes out of it. So you can always just drag it. Okay, 618 should work. So let's change this to 618. So we have our visuals arranged in a proper manner now, and we can just move to the next, which is the population size versus the vaccination. It should be under this one. So we have to import some visuals for this particular one and build visual from online. A funnel chart to just describe vaccination versus the vaccination for each continent. So just wait for it to load and work with that. So there's a very long process doing that. You put in your email, Microsoft email, then click on continue. Then it takes a while actually. You could have used this, but you cannot divide the funnel into two different variables. So while I wanted to just try to create a new visual while it's updating, but we'll just wait for it to update. I have my work and school accounts on my Power BI, so I'll just go for my work account. Sorry, for my school account. If you don't want to use any of the accounts that is registered in Microsoft, you can just use another account. So just let it load. It has signed you in that way, but it is still signing you in. Just give it time, and then let's just create a new visual while we wait. So we'll just do population and vaccination by continents. Lots of visuals here that we can import for our dashboard. This is what we'll be importing for what we're trying to add. Web importation of visuals option. Just open there, then click on add. You can also download the options and sample, but just drag this here. So these are some of the visuals that I have imported before. So it's already importing, but when it finishes importing, it's just put it below. So we'll just continue working on this one. This one should be a line graph or an area chart. Let's just use it as an area chart. Okay, so the visual has successfully imported and it is showing me this notification that import successful. The visual was imported successfully into this report. So we click on OK and then we'll get back to it after we finish with this one. So we'll just change this to a start area chart or to an area chart basically. And so for the secondary y-axis, so this is what we have, and let's copy this as usual to make the work easier for us while formatting. So we change this from sum of population to population and sum of new vaccination to just vaccinations. So this is what we want, and the title is probably too big. We'll just reduce it to like 18 for it to fit in. Yes, so it starts fitting already, and um the color, the legend, and the labels we are working with now. This should Okay. Then the lines, just change the color to red. No, the one under should be red. Work with that and see what we got. Yeah, so we have what we want now. Next, the values, the labeled values are weird. So we'll go down to data. Then the legend will just come here and change it to bottom center. And lastly, effects, visual borders, we'll just change it to red to make it more visually compelling. Really looking rowdy, we'll just change it from 10 to 5. So I think this looks better now. So so um go back to data labels and let's remove this and see what happens. No, we need it. So this should be black, bold, and 12, at least 12 labeling. So we go back to data colors and change this to red, or change this to red. And so I think this is better. This to 12. Yeah, so and then you can just increase this to like 14 or 15. So the title you can just reduce the title to 16. Yeah, so makes it easier. Just squeeze them into this remaining space. One is a map showing the cases by continent. I'll just bring it down here and fit it into place. So yeah, so um first we have to convert country to a location. Yeah, yeah. So we'll just change it to a country, allow it to load. Then after loading, it's going to show a mark here that is already a location, and then just go into it with the new case. It's not opening at all, but we'll just format it. By the time we reload the Power BI app, it will show. I really wanted you guys to see that you might have the challenge of it not opening. So it does not need title, just that. So the last visual we'll be using is population versus death for each country. So we'll use a line and a column chart, and then we'll click on population death by, can actually use continents. I use continents. So population should be average or maximum, like I explained earlier. then secondary axis should be depth. Yeah. So um no, let's exchange this. Yeah. So we just come here, format painter on this lab. We have first change the title population versus death or death versus population by continent. So no, I think we should actually like yeah, so just secondary axis should not have a label title. So next we go to data labels. We just reduce the values like 12 and then go to columns, change the columns to you can change the columns to purple and the line to red. We can just change the columns to red and the lines to purple. So shaded area should be disabled. Yeah, so this is what we have. And one more thing, the data labels for population is showing data labels for population showing in billion. So we have to change it. Display units should be in millions. Yes. So this makes it easier to read and much better to analyze. Then lastly, we'll just change this um to deaths and then this to population. So resize our dashboard properly. Use the same format for this effect, visual borders from black to red. We'll just come back to do that later after we this is what our dashboard looks like now. So we'll just close with Control S, save it. Because last time I saved it was 24 p.m. Save it so we don't lose our data. And then close after saving it, close Power BI. Probably connect to the internet and after connecting to the internet, we open Power BI. So I'll just see you guys when I reopen. So I've reopened Power BI application. Might take a while to open and then this is it. It's COVID for YouTube. Just click on it and let's see how it goes. So we'll just let it load. So it took a while, but it's actually shown. So for the legend, we just use the continents to differentiate each each continent from each other. And the higher your case is, the deeper your the color of your continent will be. So go back to our effects and change this to red. Okay, because we are reloading, we have to go pick it up from somewhere. We'll come back here and change the visual borders to. Lastly, we bring the legend down because our legend has been down lately and we believe in consistency. So bottom center, and we don't need the. I mistakenly clicked on Europe, so it's showing just Europe. So I'll click on Europe on another part. After exporting as a PDF and converting to an image, this is what your dashboard should look like after watching this video. Thank you so much for joining. Please like, share, and comment the next video you want to see on this channel. Bye.